In today's video, I fly to America to test the brand new premium compact camera from Leica. This is the Leica Q3, and coming up I share 6 features I think you'll like about this camera when walking along the Vegas Strip. Hello, welcome, Matt here from MrLeica.com. So let's just rewind for a second. John invited me to America to run a Leica workshop. He picked me up at LAS airport and then we headed straight to the Strip. John kindly lent me his Leica Q3, so I got straight to work with testing how good this camera is, especially in the low light conditions. At the end of the night he said I could keep the camera for 24 hours, and so I was looking forward to doing more testing the next morning. All these photos are shot wide open at f1.7, ISO 3200 and around 125th of a second. One feature I love on the Leica Q3 is it now comes with USB-C charging, the same as the Leica M11. This means I didn't need a battery charger and I could charge the camera from my USB-C cable, and then I was ready to go with a fully charged battery the next morning. The second feature that I love about the Leica Q3, it is now compatible with the new Leica Q3 battery, which will also fit the SL series cameras and the Leica Q2. The new battery gives you 70% more capacity, and that's a huge improvement on the original Leica Q that I own. This was my first time in Vegas, so I didn't really have any clue of what to expect. The first thing that caught my attention coming from the UK was the American trucks and cars. I just love the size and look of the American vehicles that we just don't get in the UK. I saw this truck in a parking lot and I love the wheels and how the light was coming through from the back. So I shot it from both sides, and I use the new flip screen to get low, and then it allowed me to get a nice silhouette against the sunshine. A very cool truck, and I shot it on film also. I was using multiple cameras. As I continued down the Strip, I was taking the usual tourist shots, motel signs and anything that looked a bit vintage and a bit cool, and anything neon even though it was in daylight. Vegas is also famous for its many wedding venues. I love some of the signage, and as I got closer I noticed there's a cool wedding car hidden just out of view but open to public access. The Leica Q3 is the first Leica camera to ever have a flip screen, and this is really good for both above shots and below photos. It's a little bit like the Hasselblad X2D screen if you've seen that video that I made. Here you can see the Leica Q3 next to the Leica Q2, and here you can see me trying to photograph the car from a low angle by pointing it through some fencing to get the lowest possible angle. This would have been more difficult with the original Q2 or say M11 that don't have the flip screen. And so yeah, I definitely made the use of it. And also you can use it from above, and as you can see here, I was trying to get the line of the car and the signage written on the floor, and just as I was doing that, a wedding party arrived, and so it was time to move on. I also had my Hasselblad with me, so stay tuned for another video coming on the film photos shot in America. Here's another low angle taken with the screen. As I was leaving this location, I turned around and saw this really cool custom car. You can just about see it. So I ran over to take some pictures, and I love the look of these photos. They seem to have, for me, a bit of a portrait look. Let me know in the comments below if you agree. And these are just my new Leica Q3 color preset. You can find a link below. The black and white photos in this video are edited with my black and white Leica Q3 presets. I did shoot a lot of photos in this location, so you'll probably see more of these cars in a future video. The fourth new feature of the Leica Q3 is it now comes with the 60 megapixel Leica M11 style sensor, which comes with various benefits. You can use either 60 megapixel, 36 megapixel or 80 megapixel DNG size files. And if you're shooting JPEG, you can now frame with the original 28, 35, 50 and 75, but also now 90 frame lines as well. You will benefit from the higher megapixels because it allows for heavy cropping in post. Look out for my next video where I take the Leica M11 for a spin. After many distractions along the way, I finally reached Fremont Street, and very impressive. It might be a bit of a love-hate location depending on what you like, but there was just so much to see and photograph, and I was very much in my element. I was just taking photos of everything and anything. I was trying to use the camera in various kind of setups to try to work out what was best for these types of situations. You can see the ISO marked on the screen. I tended to shoot the camera in the old-fashioned single-point autofocus, which is what I'm used to with my Leica Q camera, and say like SL, if I'm using the SL with autofocus. but I did notice that I just missed some of my photos where the cross just missed a moving target. One advantage of the Leica Q3 is it now comes with a new improved intelligent autofocus. The Leica Q3 now comes with phase detect autofocus, similar to the Panasonic Lumix S5 II, and this is much more popular than the old-fashioned contrast detect autofocus that we used to have in all previous Leica models. The other thing I noticed was I was using too slow of a shutter speed, so I was getting some motion blur in my images as I was shooting from the hip, and I was moving and they were moving, resulting in motion blur. At some point of the day, I changed my shooting style from f1.7 to f8. I turned off autofocus and then just zone focus to get my shots, and that gave me a much higher hit rate than trying to rely on autofocus. That said, I didn't really use a phase detect autofocus, so definitely check that out if you're looking to get this camera. I think people that love autofocus will really enjoy this feature. It was now time to leave Fremont Street and head out into the side streets to see what else I could find. I didn't really know where I was going, so I just picked a random direction and then walked that way. I then got distracted by yet another American old truck, so took more photos of that. And then a wedding couple caught me up, so I got another shot. I then noticed a sign for the Fremont Photo Co camera shop. I always try to visit camera shops when I'm overseas, so I paid them a visit and love the artwork as soon as I stepped through the door. If you ever come to Vegas, definitely check out the Fremont Photo Co camera shop. You can get your film there and also lab developing. But not only that, Jesse's built himself a fallout bunker in the shop itself. In small interior spaces such as this is when the Leica Summilux 28 1.7 lens really comes into its own. This is the same proven lens on the Leica Q2 and the original Leica Q. Here's the inside of the bunker, testing the camera at higher ISOs.
Informed that we have a special, if not unusual, report, which is being sent overseas by the BBC in England.
We're coming up to the Houses of Parliament. The lens seems very badly damaged. Both arms on the face of the clock are gone. The face is shattered. Most of the structure is cracked and looks as if it could collapse at any moment. The buildings of the Parliament are in much the same shape. There's rubble and debris everywhere.
By this point of the day, it was around 46, 47 degrees and I was starting to melt despite my crazy hat. Even the locals are suffering from the heat, and you can see the homeless guys around our water pipes to try to get some liquid in the heat of the day. The Leica Q3 battery had outlasted me, and it was time to get back to the hotel for an afternoon power nap. Now, I did do a full video on the Leica Q versus Q2 versus Q3, and I will do a more geeky video showing side-by-side results from all three cameras, so stay tuned for that. Quick thanks to my awesome patrons. Stay tuned for my next video where I was treated to a private jet flight to California from LA, where I continue my testing of both the Leica Q3, Leica M11, Leica Q2 and various other cameras. See you in the next video.